advancing the seafood industry. It's more about advancing you and your health, looking at how to make you eat heart healthy because it's important. And if you incorporate seafood in your meals at least 2 times a week, it'll go a long way in doing a number of things, and we're going to talk about that today. Heart disease in this country is the #1 killer. A lot of you know that. You know that you haven't been watching what you're eating, and that will really make you susceptible to heart disease. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death not only in this country, but it has a cost that is unthinkable when you think about it. To treat heart disease, cardiovascular disease, it is about $273 billion industry to be able to treat heart disease. And by 2030, the cost is projected to be triple that at $880 billion. $880 billion by 2030. Eating seafood 2 times a week has been shown to reduce heart disease by 36%. And, we're not talking about going out and eating lobster or some expensive meal. It takes Dr. Clarence Davis with the Memphis Health Center, who talks about this all the time. If you think about how your grandparents used to eat cans of sardines, and we don't even want to think about that today, but that is actually good for you. High in omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon. You can throw some of that salmon on the grill. It's good for you. Even now today, they have packets of tuna and salmon that you can just open up the packet and throw it on some lettuce with some tomatoes and have a wonderful tuna or salmon salad. So it's not really expensive. And so by following the USDA dietary guidelines for Americans to eat seafood twice a week, you can improve your omega-3 levels within 3 to 4 months. I remember when I first took the omega-3 test 3 years ago, it was horrible. And so I started watching what I was eating and incorporating a great deal of tuna and salmon in my diet. And let me just say that my numbers improved. We were tested again in 3 months. My numbers improved amazing. It was amazing. I was very, very happy with my range. The ideal range for omega-3 index is more. The ideal range is about 8% or more, but the average American range for this test is 2 to 3%. But just think about, the Japanese culture, how they eat a lot of fish. Theirs is 12%, which is very, very good. I know when I started out, my range was 4%, and I moved it to 8%. And so omega-3 index is really when they, what they can do is they measure your omega-3 fatty acids in your red blood cells. So you do have to take a blood test. They send that off, tell you where you are as a part of the index, and then, after you change your diet, start eating at least, 2 times a week seafood, go back 3-4 months later and check your index, and it should definitely change. So, but unfortunately here in the U.S., 90% of Americans do not eat seafood 2 times a week. And why is that? We think it's too expensive. We think it's too hard to cook. We think that, preparation time takes too long. We don't have quality seafood in our stores that are in our neighborhoods, or we think that it's expensive. And all of those, some of those are myths. Seafood can be expensive, some, but not all of it. And that is high in omega-3 you can get, and some of it is very inexpensive. But when you think about some neighborhoods that don't have quality stores and quality produce or fresh fish or fresh produce, period, you may have to go farther outside of your community to get access to those types of foods. But it's important to your health. When you think about every year, Americans eat only about 14 pounds of seafood, but then they consume about 140 pounds of sugar. Okay, Eddie, I don't know about you, but I am real guilty of, when I wake up in the morning, I have to have at least 1 cup of coffee. And no matter how I try and wean myself off of the real deal sugar, I've tried Splenda, I've tried, some of the other substitutes, but I got to have the real deal. So, but it's addictive. It is so addictive. So I am like one of those Americans that I have to have my sugar in my coffee in the morning, and so I'm working on that though. I've tried before winning myself off, and I can do it for 4 to 5 months, and then when I really have to have a cup of coffee, I go back, and it's addictive. So that is an addiction, people. If you didn't know what it is, and you need to figure out how to get rid of that addiction. Nearly half of our eye's light detecting cell structure is made of omega-3s, and so a third of the brain's key functional units are made up of omega-3 fatty acids. So in essence, what I'm saying is that the more seafood you eat, it potentially helps your eyesight as well as your brain activity. It has been shown through research that moms who ate seafood twice a week had babies with higher IQs and improved brain and eye development. And so to pregnant moms, don't you want to have a healthy baby with great brain development and great IQ? I guess, Eddie, maybe I should have been eating a little bit more seafood when I was pregnant with my first one. I'm just joking, Kirk. Mommy loves you. You're smart. Children who ate seafood and supplemented with omega-3s had improved attention span and fewer adverse behavioral outcomes. And having an omega-3 level of 8% or more reduces your risk of sudden cardiac death by 90%. These statistics are important compared with an omega-3 level of 2 to 3%. Now let me read that again, because I really think that you need to hear that. Having an omega-3 level of 8% or more reduces your risk of sudden cardiac disease or heart attack by 90%, whereas if you have an omega-3 level of 2 to 3%, you're more susceptible to having cardiovascular disease or having a heart attack. So seniors who eat seafood regularly have better memory and live longer, an average of 2 to 3 years longer. And so seniors out there, opening up that can of sardines, opening up that can of tuna, and incorporating that in one of your meals twice a week will give you some additional longevity with your life, according to this research. And then shrimp, you got to have your shrimp. Salmon and tuna are the most popular seafood choices in the United States, but salmon, which I love, has the highest amount of omega-3 servings. So, and I can eat it, broiled, I can eat it grilled. It's just one of my favorite seafood dishes. And so we've been doing this for 3 years, asking Mid-South residents to take the Healthy Heart Pledge. What does that mean? It's very simple. We need you to say that you're going to commit to eating seafood 2 times a week, okay? We're not telling you when to eat it. Some people might want to eat seafood for breakfast. Some people might want to eat it for lunch. Some people might want to eat it for dinner. But we're saying commit to eating heart healthy and try to incorporate seafood in your diet at least 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And if you incorporate it into your diet 2 times a week or 3 times a week, what we're asking you to do is take a little pledge that you're going to try. And where do you take that pledge? You can go to the seafoodnutrition.org website and sign up to say you're going to take the pledge. What will that do? It's not going to cost you anything. If you go to this website, what you'll be able to see is different types of recipes that you and your spouse can cook. Involving seafood. It will talk about the health benefits of eating seafood twice a week, and it will also kind of share with you social media, metrics associated with how, and this is something we want you to do, is to go on social media and follow Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis on our Facebook page, and then also tweet out, take a picture of yourself having your favorite seafood meal and add the hashtag seafood 2 times a week MEMF, MEM, attributing that to Memphis is the one who taught you about this new strategy of changing your life and eating health food twice a week. So rep force. And through your social media, let people know that you're changing your lifestyle and you're eating heart healthy. Here in Memphis, October is a big month for us when it comes to Seafood Nutrition Partnership. One thing we're doing is we're looking at the best ways to influence people in a way that will make them want to eat more heart healthy and incorporating that seafood in their diet. So one thing we're doing this year, and we actually started it. We were the city that actually started the Healthy Heart Summit. And with that, we are putting together a program, and the Healthy Heart Summit is next week, October the 10th from 8 until noon. And we're inviting healthcare influencers out, people who are educating people on the importance of eating heart healthy. We're inviting you to come and be a part of this summit because all ideas are needed and important in order for us to continue educating people from a grassroots strategy standpoint. So who's going to be at this summit? This Healthy Heart Summit that the Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis team is coordinating is on October the 10th from 8 a.m. until noon at the Church Health Center in Crosstown. We'll be at that new Crosstown facility. And what is that program going to look like? Well, I'm going to be the MC, so we're going to have a good time, talking to and listening to the panelists that are going to be there that day and allowing the audience, if you want to come and ask a question, please come out. But you've got to RSVP. It's important. So there's an Eventbrite link that you can go to. This is totally free. This education is free. So I'm going to serve as your MC. Ken Moody with the City of Memphis and Mayor Mark Luttrell are going to be there, and they're going to welcome you to this summit. They're going to talk about the importance of a healthy Memphis and an important healthy Shelby County. Both the City of Memphis has put together programs to try and talk about wellness and prevention, and I know that the county Mayor Luttrell has had walk runs and an initiative called Healthy Shelby, and so he's going to be there, and Ken Moody, a special assistant to the mayor of the City of Memphis, will be there to welcome people to this event. Our first panel will be talking about the Memphis health statistics and the role of nutrition. So Dr. Clarence Davis, who loves the Seafood Nutrition Campaign and talks to his patients about eating heart healthy and incorporating seafood into their diet, will be one of the panelists, and he's the medical director for the Memphis Health Center, as well as Jaretta Hollins, who is with the Shelby County Health Department. She's going to be talking about health risk and statistics. Dr. Lynn Liu is a health educator with the University of Memphis, and Dr. Liu will be on the panel, as well as Carrie Campbell, who is the regional director for Healthier Tennessee. She's going to be talking about their program and how we're partnering with them on education. Then there will be a message from one of my favorite future Olympians. She is working to become be a member of the USA bobsled team for the 2018 Olympics. Local teacher Sable Ote. We'll have a message from Sable, who is in New York now, I believe, training for the Olympics. And I mean, she was in the office last week, and let me just say, she is working so hard to make that team and make Memphis and the Mid-South proud. And she is lean. I mean, you touch her and there's nothing but, muscle there. So she's working out and is really close to making the team. So we need to say some prayers for Sable Ote and push her, encourage her to keep fighting to make that team. So we have a message from Sable Ote. And then the second panel is Power of Partnerships in Health. We can't do this education campaign alone. We have ambassadors, we have partners who are working with us to kind of spread this message, because we don't have a big advertising budget. What we're doing is a grassroots public education and public health awareness campaign. And so Tish Towns, who is the senior VP and the chief administrative officer for Regional One Health, will be on this panel. Candace Sapp, who is the food programs coordinator with the Works, will be on this panel. Jennifer Marshall with Grow Memphis Volunteer Garden Organizer and Memphis Tilt will be on this panel. And then our president for the Seafood Nutrition Partnership, Linda Cornish, will be a part of this panel. And of course, I'll be emceeing it. And so you'll be able to learn how partnerships have helped advance what we're trying to do across the country, and specifically in 8 to 9 markets, in educating people on eating heart healthy. And then, of course, with any event that Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis does, we can't just talk the talk about eating heart healthy. We've got to show you. We've got to show you some techniques and demonstrate to you that it is real simple to make a meal. And so we have one of the Kroger nutritionist and seafood clerk from Kroger. Kroger is a partner with us in this initiative. And so they're going to do a seafood demonstration. And they're going to talk to you about, how to select seafood and what's important to look for when you're going to the store and you're thinking about, purchasing seafood, what to look for. And let me just say, Kroger has a heck of a seafood display. I was there 2 weeks ago, and what they can do for you now with a lot of their fish is they already have it seasoned, pepper, lemon pepper seasoning on your salmon or whatever type of fish, rosemary seasoning on your fish, and then they can actually put it in a bag where you can just take that bad baby home, put it in the oven, certain set, time frame in the oven, and you pull it out and you already have your seafood meal. So one day, like 2 weeks ago, I went and I purchased some salmon. It's only, Pat and I are empty nesters, so, enough for the two of us. And then bought some asparagus and, roasted that asparagus. No, yeah, I roasted the asparagus, put the seafood that was already in the bag that was prepared by Kroger, and we had a wonderful meal. Absolutely wonderful meal. So we will have representatives from Kroger that will show you what to look for and tell you how to select seafood. And then one thing that we've started here in Memphis, it is the Alpha and Omega 3 journey. We've partnered with a number of local churches that have health care ministries, and we've asked them to, participate in the Healthy Heart Pledge. And so we've tested participants with the omega-3 blood test. And so we're going to go back and we're going to monitor them, but we're going to have, we're recruiting other churches to participate in this, but we're going to go back and we're going to talk about that and the experience that some of the participants have had on their Alpha Omega 3 journey as a part of the summit. And then we'll have closing remarks, but the part that I really like, and I think that if you will want to attend and you will like to, is a chef that we're using, Sharonda Peoples. She is thebomb.com. I've used Sharonda for a number of our events. She's one of a group of chefs that we've worked with on S&P and other events, but she is going to show you how to create seafood tacos, and then that's going to be your lunch. She's going to actually create it for the participants, the summit participants, and that will be your lunch. So if you are interested in participating and you're a health care influencer or a member of an organization that teaches healthy eating and focuses on a healthy lifestyle, we welcome you to come and attend this free Healthy Heart Summit, which is next week on October the 10th from 8 a.m. until noon. But you do have to have a ticket, so if you either call my office at 901-278-0881, or Eddie and I will put it up on the M1 TV Facebook page, the Eventbrite link. I'll make sure that we do that to make it easier for you to get a free ticket to this event. So that's what we have coming on. You will see my team, the Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis team, at different health fairs. Yesterday, Dabney and Megan were at the Nike Employee Health Fair, and I think there's another one coming up that they will be in. They were out at the one location on Winchester, but they'll be out in Fraser. The University of Memphis is having a health fair, and we will be at that health fair as well. So if you see a big old sign with a yellow and blue fish, it says Seafood Nutrition Partnership, that will be me or representatives of my team at that event. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, talk a little bit more about the Seafood Nutrition Partnership. Eddie, do you want to go ahead and run a quick message, a quick video from our president, Linda Cornish? Yes. We'll run that video, and on the back side of that video, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing this month and invite you to take the pledge, and wish you a great rest of your day. So we'll be back on the other side of this break.
At the Seafood Nutrition Partnership, we're launching a public health campaign to educate Americans about eating seafood. It's especially critical now as our nation faces a public health crisis. It's a dire situation, but we believe we can make a difference for the sake of our nation. In the United States today, 7 out of 10 deaths are from diseases that we know for a fact are preventable. Meanwhile, 2/3 of U.S. adults are either overweight or obese. Even though many of our problems are preventable through diet and lifestyle changes, the number of Americans with chronic diseases continues to rise. Health-wise, it's a desperate time for our country. One simple positive step that can be taken is to include more seafood in the American diet. Unfortunately, Americans aren't eating enough seafood to make a positive health impact. While each year we consume an average of 110 pounds of red meat, 73 pounds of poultry, 130 pounds of sugar, 80 pounds of oil, and 600 pounds of dairy products, our annual per capita seafood consumption is just 14.4 pounds with a declining trend. The essential nutrients from seafood is widely understood in the medical community, and numerous prominent health organizations recommend eating more seafood in support of optimum wellness, especially for heart and brain health. But in our busy day-to-day lives, the need to include seafood in our diet is just not getting through. The Seafood Nutrition Partnership is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're members of the Clinton Global Initiative and the Non-Communicable Disease Roundtable.
I really hope that if we can come together in a public-private partnership between industry, healthcare, doctors and hospitals around this country, that we can really start to change consumer behavior, that we can get consumers to have seafood become a more important part of their diet and ultimately get them to eat seafood twice a week, again in the interests of improving public health.
Our plan for confronting America's health crisis is not that complicated, but it takes time, partners, and resources. We will start with a 3-year national public health campaign and educate individuals, especially the underserved, about the essential health benefits of seafood, while helping them develop the skills and confidence necessary to eat seafood regularly. We plan to educate the American public in such a way that people can easily understand how to be the guardians of their own health.
The Seafood Nutrition Partnership is the best opportunity that the seafood industry has ever had to really get our message out about the nutritional benefits and the health benefits of consuming more seafood.
We already have a large number of important partners committed to this initiative with us.
You know, obviously a company like Bumblebee is predominantly in the tuna business, but this is not a tuna campaign. This is a seafood campaign, and we're indifferent whether they're eating pollock or they're eating shrimp or they're eating tuna. The point is, we like to see Americans eat a much broader range of seafood because it lifts the entire seafood category, and in doing so, it also improves the overall health of the American population.
And the battles are really to make sure that Americans understand what seafood means and how healthy it is for them and how they can access it, how they can buy it, prepare it, eat it, give it to their kids. All those things that are so important for us to really get to that point to be healthier.
I do think that change at a societal level is difficult, and it takes plan and it takes time, but we've had it. I mean, think about seat belts, think about smoking. These are all initiatives. They took a long time, but they're the right initiatives. And you can say now, looking back, that they worked, right? So I hope we can do the same thing with the American diet.
In 3 to 5 years, if we just have 50% more of America eating fish, no matter where they go for it, that's success.
And we all have to not take our share, but we all have to give. We're involved in a very healthy industry. There's not many commodities that are involved in a healthy industry like we are today.
Our goal for this national Heart Healthy Grassroots campaign is to band together not just the health and wellness industry, but also to build public-private partnerships across the fabric of our country to address our public health crisis. We're inviting the seafood industry, corporations, government agencies, media, local communities, foundations, and nonprofits to take part and support this major cause. Together, we can inspire a healthier America, but the time to act is now.
Okay, you caught me. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm inviting you to go and like Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis if you're on Facebook. Now, I want you to do it after you watch my show, of course. I don't want you to leave the M1 TV network page or the Dialogue with Deidre page or the Deidre Malone page or whatever page you're on. But after this show, I invite you to go like the Seafood Nutrition Partnership Memphis page and look at these great pictures. I'm looking at some of the Nike employees and our employees as they're handing out information about National Seafood Month, Seafood Nutrition Partnership, and then they're getting their little packets of tuna. Yes, we do. We can talk about it, but, we also give you something when you take the pledge because we want you to be committed and we want that very first seafood meal to be on us. So we're excited about it. Which fish is the richest in omega-3s? I'm looking at this. See, this is the kind of great information, Eddie, that we have when you see us at a health fair. And this information is on our seafood nutrition website as well. You can download this information if you are in healthcare education or interested in educating your church group or your book club on the benefits of eating heart healthy. You can go and get a lot of these materials on our website. But let me just share a few things with you. Because, see, I know that a lot of you like your catfish, and I like my catfish too. I like my catfish fried. Is that the best seafood for you? Nah, it's not. But we still, if that's the only catfish you like, we'll take it, all right? So health organizations suggest an intake of about 250 to 500 milligrams of omega-3 EPA, DHA per day. The American Heart Association recommends 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA per day for patients with coronary heart disease and 2 meals of oily fish per week for people without heart disease. Okay, so what type of fish has 1,000 milligrams in it? Okay, which is the best? You get 4 hearts, okay? If we're going to do 1 heart, which is the lowest, 2 hearts, which is next to the lowest, 3 hearts, which is next to the highest, 4 hearts being the best. Guess what fish have 4 hearts? Eddie, can you guess for me?
They got 4 hearts.
4 hearts.
Oh, Lord.
Eddie can't guess back there. Anchovies.
What?
Anchovies. Herring. You know that the anchovies folk want to put on their pizzas or want to put on their salads.
That's a fish?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mackerel. Oysters. Who likes oysters? Yeah. 4 hearts, okay? Salmon, which is my favorite. Sardines, 4 hearts. Swordfish, and then another 4 heart, which is like our 4 stars, fish is trout. Eddie, have you ever had trout? Do you like trout?
Yeah, I like trout.
Okay, well then that's 4 hearts, 4 stars. In the 3 heart category, Alaskan pollock, crab, mussels. This is a different type of salmon. Chum, pink, and sockeye, they have 3 hearts. Sea bass is really good. Squid, I don't know about that, but you know what a squid is. Tilefish, tuna, specifically white albacore tuna is the best, and then walleye fish, okay? When you think about the 2 hearts, which is 250 to 500 milligrams, you're talking about catfish, clams, flounder, sole, grouper, halibut, mackerel, the king mackerel, a different type of oyster, the eastern farmed and cooked oyster, perch, rockfish, snapper, and then tuna. A specific type of tuna is the skipjack. So that's in the 2 hearts. And then when you think about 250 milligrams and one heart, you're talking about which a lot of people eat is the cod, the crayfish, haddock, lobsters, maui, shrimp, scallops, tilapia. Eddie, I bet you eat a whole lot of tilapia. And then you don't? What kind of fish do you eat then?
I eat catfish, salmon, sardines.
Okay. Well, then your sardines and your salmon, really good. Catfish is good. Do you like to bake it or broil it or fry it?
I have to bake mine like this.
Yeah, bake. That's good. So this is good to know. I mean, this is just a standard information, and it helps you if you are trying to increase your omega-3 levels. It's good. That's what I'm talking about, Eddie. Nike Facebook page. They were taking the Healthy Heart Pledge. Dabney Weems and Megan Oliver were out there working it, trying to educate people on eating seafood 2 times a week. All right, before I close out, and Eddie and I laugh all the time because normally I'll do an hour show, but when I decide to do a 30-minute show, I tell Eddie I'm stretching. I don't know if I have 30 minutes, and he's already told me that I've talked for 30 minutes. So, this little postcard here, it talks about eating seafood 2 times per week and what could that look like for you. Leads to improved, and these are things we've already said, leads to improved brain and eye development, contributes to an increase in your omega-3 level, helps to reduce risk of heart disease, benefits pregnant and nursing women and their babies. And this goes on to just give you the different types of varieties of seafood, the different types of portions. So if you're having a health fair and you're looking for information on eating heart healthy, give us a call at the Carter Malone Group. Or at M1 TV Network at 901-278-0881, and we will be more than happy to share this information with you because we have a whole lot of it. So it's National Seafood Month. And here in Memphis in the Mid-South and in other markets as a part of this campaign, we are educating people on the advantages of eating seafood 2 times a week and becoming more heart healthy and incorporating that exercise into it, and making sure that what you do is in the best interest of you and your health and your family's health. Because if you start eating heart healthy and you have a family at home, then it just trickles down and pulls them in to your behavior, changing in your attitude, and a healthy you is a healthy family. So that is our goal, and that is what we want to see happen. So I'm going to close out and say to you, thank you so much for watching Dialogue with Deidre on the M1 TV network. If you are interested in being an advertiser here on our network, give me a call because we are looking to increase the number of advertisers that we have on our network. And if your business or service kind of aligns with our mission, and we do have one, it's about educating people on things that are important to our community and that are important to minorities in our community. And if you feel like your business or service will align with our mission as a network, then give me a call and let's talk about how we can get you on our network. We'd love to have you on. So let me hear from you. You know how to reach me. You can reach out to me on the M1 TV Network Facebook page, the M1 TV Network website. We have our new website up. You can reach out to me through Dialogue with Deidre as well, or just email me at Deidre at deidremalone.com, and I'll definitely respond. If you have any ideas on shows for my show or for our network, then reach out and let me know. We'll be more than happy to have that conversation with you and see if we can work something out. But for today, I want to thank you for being a viewer of our network. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday, same time, same place. Dialogue with Deidre in the basement. Have a good afternoon.